question, but we have to go to our second story, and our second story is as important, and that is the Pakistan Mineral Forum 2025 that has begun today in Islamabad. Many important personalities have addressed the auspicious gathering on the occasion, whether it be our Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif Sahab, whether it be our Chief of the Army Staff, whether it be Ithamdar Sahab, who is the Deputy Prime Minister. Many people have addressed it. I'll just like to highlight some of the things that were said. Our Prime Minister invited local and foreign investors to invest in the infinite natural resources of Pakistan that values trillions of dollars. He talked about the potential of mineral resources in different areas of the country and said that Pakistan will not allow raw material to be shipped out of the country. He also emphasized on the importance of export of finished and semi-finished products, saying this will be a win-win situation. He also said any agreement would also entail the technology will be transferred to Pakistan over a period of time. He also said entrepreneurs will be welcome to establish joint partnerships for training of the youth in modern skills by setting up vocational training centers. He also emphasized that the federal and provincial governments, along with other institutions, would work together to transform Pakistan into one of the leading countries of the world. This auspicious gathering was also addressed to by Ithamdar Sahab, who is the Deputy Prime Minister, who also talked about Pakistan that is strategically positioned to emerge as a global mining powerhouse, which is underpinned by its unparalleled geological wealth. And of course, the Chief of the Army Staff also addressed this auspicious gathering. We've been joined by two guests to discuss this in more detail. Fahim Sardar continues to join us for this segment as well, because it had been some time that he had come to our studios, and we thought let's take him for the entire show. And our second guest is Ishad Ali Khoka Sahab. He's a former DG Minerals Pakistan, and he's also the former chairman of Pakistan Mineral Development Corporation. Thank you very much, Ishad Sahab, also to have given us the time. We'll begin with you, Ishad Sahab. Ishad Sahab, this two-day Mineral Investment Forum that opened today, and of course it was addressed to by our Prime Minister, our Deputy Prime Minister, our Chief of the Army Staff, and they all, was telling the investors, local and foreign, to invest in Pakistan's mineral resources and the infinite natural resources that value in the trillions of dollars. In your point of view, is this the primary objective of this Mineral Investment Forum 2025, or is there more to it?
Well, we can say, well, thank you for having me here. Briefly, this type of conference, they have a multiple objectives. One, like the countries where we are displaying, having this type of conference, we display, our mineral potential, what we have in our country. Like if it's happening in Pakistan, Pakistan is, displaying its mineral potential, what we have in Pakistan. The second and very important objective of this and benefit of this sort of conference is that we provide a platform at a national level for the interaction between the investors from all over the world, so they can interact with different people and with the officials of the government of Pakistan and different agencies and departments here, and they can see our potential, they can discuss our policies, our legal framework, and they can decide if Pakistan is a suitable destination for them. There are two main points, an investor is looking for, while he's looking for, deciding some investment in every, in any place of the world. One, the legal framework of this country and the mineral policy of that country. Well, if we have a competitive regime in terms of regulatory and fiscal regime in our policies and in our legal framework, then we can compete with the rest of the world, and we can provide a platform to the investor to decide if we are a competitive place for the investment or not. So these could be the main objective of this conference.
That's a very interesting perspective that you've put forward. Fahim, I'd like to add through it by also highlighting some of the statements of Ishaq Dar Sahab, who is our Deputy Prime Minister. He talked about Pakistan's vast resources of rare earth elements. He talked about Pakistan's reserves like record date. He talked about how this investment forum provides a unique platform for stakeholders, partners and friendly countries. This is also something that has been highlighted by Ishaq Sahab, to explore new prospects and build mutually beneficial partnerships. How can a forum like this position Pakistan as a key player in the global mining industry?
I'm going to speak specifically from a business perspective. Highlighting what you have is the first step. And highlighting it in a very methodical, systematic, helpful way. And if I can draw on what Kokar Sahab just said, that when we highlight our legal framework, the policy that we're trying to give to the investors, that is when we start to make your presence felt. Now, of course, if we take, let's say, a mineral in which we have an abundance of, and we know how to process it, that's where you really start to make inroads. But you need partnerships. There are junior, I think there's a term that's used in mineral development. There are junior partners, there are junior companies that do the smaller work, and then you've got the bigger companies that do the bigger work. So Pakistan has to graduate itself from a basic or introductory level or slightly advanced level to a much more advanced level. I think this is such a huge community that to make your space, you have to push. There is space to be had, space to be taken. So Pakistan has to, I think, be persistent in its push, and I think it was a pretty strong effort. I went there today. There was a lot of hustle and bustle. That is, I think, from a business perspective, that is one of the main things, that people are talking to each other, people are exchanging cards.
That is what Ishaq Sahab also pointed towards, that this is one of the main objectives for this, provides a platform for the different players to come around and meet each other.
So that's what I saw, and of course this needs to be done more regularly. This needs to be done in a more specialized manner. When we might want to do a specific mineral, not minerals, but mineral conference. So I mean, going forward. But all I'm trying to say is, when we try to make space for ourselves, we have to be pushy. We have to make our presence felt, and all the good things that we have, showcase them, and all the good things that we can process and deliver, they need to be brought to the forefront.
All right. When it comes, Ishaq Sahab, when it comes to Pakistan's delivery mechanisms, when it comes to its mining sector, how can this forum's emphasis, that is on sustainable and responsible mining practices, benefit Pakistan's environment and its local communities?
Well, we can briefly say that, but the forum is, has a great composition of all the facets of mining industry, which include the technology people, which include the professionals, which includes the regulators, which includes a variety of investors from all over the world. So you see, this blend of activity will, here in this platform has provided a great opportunity to our target was the investor. You see, our target were the investors. So we have to do all these things, what is actually needed to satisfy him and he feel comfortable. So I have seen this event, I've been to all over the world, and I've seen so many mining conferences, like in Canada, in India, in Dubai, in other part of the world, where we see thousands of delegates. So this was the second event in Pakistan after first we have last year, and I have seen much of improvements comparing with last year. This time we have more delegates, and people have more clarity about Pakistan mineral sector, its potential, its framework, its infrastructure, its economic conditions. So I met quite a few people from overseas
All
here,
right.
and I found them relatively satisfied, and they were very happy when I asked if we compare this forum with which those people have attended elsewhere. They say it was a wonderful,
All right.
event.
All right, that is really good news. Fahim, Minister for Petroleum Ali Parvez Malik had addressed news conference with the MD of OGDCL. He had talked about at that time of a harmonized framework that will be unveiled at this forum to attract investment in the mining sector. And he says this has been prepared after due consultations, and that it enjoys the support of all the provincial governments. And this is to promote sustainable and responsible mining. How is this unveiling of the National Minerals Harmonization Framework 2025 going to enhance Pakistan's mining sector?
I think it's going to be critical because that will be the starting point of new activity, fresh activity, or the strengthening of previously, engaged activity. Policy is the key. Policy has to be beneficial. It has to be beneficial for the investor as well as for Pakistan. But the policy has to continue. It has to be stable. We cannot make multiple changes, or I think even a micro change going forward 2 years down the road can cause a lot of issue, because in minerals you need patient capital. You need people to bring in capital in heavy amounts for long periods of time, and that's I was going through this research that the Angro Coal Sindh project took something like 8-9 years to sort of become profitable. So that's a pretty long time, and that's just one mineral. So when we are unveiling a policy, I think it's a starting point, and it has to be meticulously thought out, and it has to be easy to understand for the investor, because they're going to be bringing in capital.
Exactly.
And it's not going to be for 6 months. It's going to be for a long time. And I will repeat the term patient capital. We have to help that patient capital remain calm, convinced, and totally engaged in Pakistan's environment. Because one thing I've noticed, which I have to add here, is that we're going through. Sometimes I get the feeling we're going through a transition.
All right.
And Pakistan is experimenting things.
Okay.
So when you speak of the unveiling of a policy, I think, and I think you did say there's due consultation.
Yes.
So that sort of highlights what I am trying to get at, that it has to be duly consulted, so that for the next, I'm just saying this off the cuff, that for the next 7 to perhaps 12 years, there shouldn't be too much of a change. Even a micro adjustment can have a massive influence. Sometimes adding a new tax layer to it or something like that.
It has to be consistent. The policy needs to be consistent. Consistency is a key word here. Ishaq, around 300 international delegates from countries such as the US, China, Saudi Arabia, Turkey are all here. We have been conducting interviews with some of their ministers as well during the course of this whole day as well, and they have all been very positive. What, in your point of view, sir, what long-term geopolitical advantages could Pakistan gain by strengthening its mineral ties with important global players such as China, the US, Turkey, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, in your point of view?
But first of all, if you allow me, I would like to add what my brother was, discussing about, like unification of policies and our legal framework. I remain involved in all these exercises. I was a lead author of 2013 mineral policy and all these concession rules. I was, remain involved and a lead author of all these, regulatory framework. The idea was, to unify them was that because, we are a federation, and each province has a constitutional freedom to make concession rules and policy for the mineral sector. So this was an attempt to provide an ease for the international investors and for the local investors to give them a unified or a homogeneous regime all over the country, right?
Mhm.
So, for example, if we have a $10 per ton royalty in one mineral in one province, so effort has been made that it should be same for all the provinces here. So this was a exercise we have recently done, and hopefully, and this is a very good exercise to give a message to the international and local investor that okay, wherever you want to go to Pakistan for whichever mineral you like, you will have a uniform and homogeneous policy and regulation in the entire country. So now I'll come to your second question. Geopolitically, you see, we are a very blessed nation, and geologically we are very blessed too. Not in politically, but geologically I am speaking. We are sitting on a very important geological belt, which is known for gold and copper. This is called Tethyan Belt. It starts from Hungary and it's end in somewhere in Afghanistan, right? And 12 countries, it passes through the 12 countries of the world, and about 12 copper and gold projects are operating on this belt. And out of these 12, we are very fortunate nation. We have two. One is Sendak and one is Rekodik. So geopolitically and geologically, Pakistan is Alhamdulillah is a very blessed nation, and we are sitting on at such a place in the world map that if we look, we are neighboring two big populous country of the world, China and India. So if we even develop something, if we are capable to export something, half a population of the world is surrounded by us. So geopolitically, we are our position is Alhamdulillah is very good, and geologically we are also blessed.
All right, that's wonderful to know. Fahim, speaking of Rekodik that Shah pointed towards, CEO Barrick Gold, Mark Bristow, in this forum, you must have been hearing him as well. He said the Rekodik project is going to be the beacon, I'm quoting exactly what he said, that leads Pakistan into the race of the top global mining jurisdictions. What benefits could Pakistan gain from partnerships with global mining companies like Barrick Gold, which is involved in the Rekodik project?
I think the first thing is expertise. You get to see the expertise, you get to learn the expertise, and you get to leverage the expertise of your partner in other areas. Because I mean, they're not just involved in Pakistan; they're involved in other places as well. That's where we, coming full circle, we talk about junior companies and then there's senior companies. So that's a senior company doing all this stuff. Pakistan can gain a lot of knowledge of how to unlock this value that we already have. Now, of course, in return, the partner of profit. That's how things go. So we have to move strategically on this front, because we have to look at what Pakistan's interests really are, where they lie, and what we need to do. I think coming back to that the unveiling of the policy, I think that's been the cornerstone of what Pakistan is trying to do. Engage with the international community, with the international players, but at the same time make sure that your objectives are achieved as well. Sharing will always happen. That's how it's done. But this is such a huge. There's a lot of science involved in all of this. So we have to bring in science. It's not just about being able to sell a product. We have to.
There's a lot of technological innovation that have been highlighted in the forum as well.
Absolutely,
must have been highlighted.
Absolutely. So we cannot neglect in any discussion the scientific the requirement for scientific prowess in mining and refining and creating a product. Pakistan has a lot to learn, and I think Pakistan is willing to learn.
All right.
That's the best part, I think. We're
All right.
willing to learn, but we have to move strategically.
All right. Last question to you, Shah Sahab, and that concerns some of the concerns that some international players have. And now, the managing director OGDCL recently in media talked about challenges such as regulatory hurdles and security concerns that will be addressed effectively in order to attract investors. Our Chief of the Army Staff today in this forum also highlighted economic security, and that he said it had become a critical component of national security, and assured that the army in Pakistan will ensure a robust security framework and proactive measures to safeguard the interests and the trust of partners and investors. How important is this realization that has been given by the Chief of the Army Staff, and to address certain concerns that some investors could have?
Well, it's a very good question. You know, it's a hard fact that people, when see Pakistan sitting outside, they see lot of challenges which they feel that they may have if they will invest in Pakistan. First of all, this resolution of Rikodik issue dispute, I remain involved in this whole exercise of this entire issue of Rikodik. This, thanks God that there was a great embarrassment to the Pakistan as a nation because of this dispute. Wherever we've been going internationally, we've been facing all this concern and criticism that what happened to this project and why did Pakistan did that. Anyway, thanks God, we have successfully resolved this issue, and now this embarrassment is over, and this resolution has attracted lot of people, and after this successful resolution, they will come to Pakistan, and they will now feel happy to invest in Pakistan. This is the first thing may I mention. The second thing is you have mentioned that I would say that currently there is no regulatory challenges, because that has been, most of them have been addressed in the unified policy formulation and in the legal framework. These issues are already stand resolved and addressed. However, the security concern is somehow recent events has raised the security concerns for the investors, and Alhamdulillah, our security forces are addressing this issue also successfully. And it's not Pakistan only, elsewhere if you look at so many countries, South America and Africa,
that Pakistan is addressing, as our Chief of the Army Staff has said, Pakistan is addressing this issue effectively. We're a bit short of time, Shah Sahab. Would have loved to talk a little bit more with you on that as well, with your experience and your expertise that you have had. Inshallah, that will be for another time. Thank you very much, Shah Sahab, to have joined us. Thank you very much, Fahim, to have stayed with us during the entire show. This leads us to the end of today's